Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory 2 class review, and today I'm going to be making one on the new Runeblader. This video was highly requested by you guys, and I apologize for not getting this out sooner, but let's not waste any more time and get right into it. But I'm going to say this again, and again, and again in every single review video. This isn't a guide, a how to play, or a should you play, or any video of that type. It's just my honest thoughts on the class and whether I find it enjoyable or not. And the short answer is yes, I like this class a lot. In my video on what classes I chose to main, I basically said this class fits me well thematically because I like the theme of an edgy swordsman with a special theme to them, in this case magic. But we're not really talking about theme here, we're going to talk about the class from a practical sense. Runebladers are a two-handed no-guard swordsman who prioritize offense in lieu of a shield. Basically speaking, you can easily think of Runeblader as Kirito before he decided to go dual wielding. Runebladers have the most creative sword skills in the game and can definitely provide you with more interactive entertainment than a knight or berserker can. And the main gimmick of this class is that they imbue their sword with various elements in the form of fire, ice, or lightning. Being a hybrid magic swordsman, they scale off of both intelligence and strength, meaning both stats influence their fighting power. In a gameplay sense, Runebladers are a high-risk, high-reward melee class with much less defense than a typical warrior, since all warriors get up close and personal to do their damage but have that safety cushion, you know, of beefy tank stats to keep them from getting destroyed. Runebladers don't really have that. Instead, they have a lot of potential damage and actually options for both melee and ranged. I would think they're definitely a decent tier class with a high skill cap, especially once ability awakenings come out, but this won't be about those since I never experienced them. As per usual, I want to talk about their skills. Runebladers have probably the best melee kit in the game, in that all of them are different in one way or another. Flurry is a standard triple swing attack that slashes in front of you 3 times. Echoing Blade slashes in front of you, which is followed by an aftershock of 7 more attacks. Whirling Blades throw 3 spinning swords in a direction with some very nice reach. Gravity Rune creates a rune field in front of you that pulls all enemies to the center. Impact smashes the ground for heavy damage, so on and so forth. There's not a single recurring thing in Runeblader's kit as opposed to like a berserker who has literally 3 different slash skills that you hold down, or 2 skills that smash something on the ground, or assassins who just have different ways of throwing a star. The best part is that most of these skills' attributes change depending on which element you're imbued with, which adds even more depth to the class's abilities. In fact, I want to say that they can count as separate abilities, with each one having just a similar property of the initial ability's animation. Due to the fashion of Runeblader skills, they have fantastic mobbing, especially chaining attacks together like Gravity Rune with Whirling Blades or Echoing Blades for easy wave clear. Alternatively, you can get pretty creative with how you want to mob with Runeblader. For instance, Storm Sigil, Whirling Blades cause your swords to chain lightning off of enemies and have them bounce back and forth. Or if you're looking for some serious damage, you can go for the Frost Sigil Impact, which does an explosive level of burst damage. Heck, even Flame Sigil Warding Rune can make a shield around you that burns nearby targets. Now, while Runebladers are meant to be a solo class, they do come with a singular party utility skill. But it's actually one of, if not the most broken party skill in the game, apart from maybe Priest's Holy Symbol or Knight's Party Invincibility. Honing Runes plants a field on the ground that buffs your party's critical damage by a percentage. Critical damage from items only increase your max crit bonus by like a flat amount, but Honing Runes can give you a boost up to 20%, which is far greater than you might think. Runebladers also have some pretty nice mobility. Because of their skill Blade Chasm, it lets you dash forward, leaving an explosive field behind that detonates after a second for heavy damage. So while we don't have the best dash in the game, this definitely can make up for it. But I do want to touch upon that. Blink only shoots you forward 3 meters. And while it doesn't exhaust stamina, it instead has a 1-second cooldown, which can kinda screw you over since it's only 3 meters. I know that if you dash towards a target it doubles to 6 meters, but that's only if you're literally within 6 meters or less in range. Definitely probably one of the worst ones I've seen so far. Now, I said enough good things about Runeblader. What are some bad, apart from what I just said earlier? Well, for one, the damage is not fantastic. While we do have really good skills and overall a lot of options for wave clear, the DPS is kind of overshadowed by a Berserker, Assassin, or Wizard. Although late game I imagine Runebladers to be decent contenders, at least in the current stage of progression we're at right now, nowhere near top tier damage wise. I think that's mostly because Runebladers favor attack speed over raw damage. No other skill hits as fast as Echoing Blades, and his non-speedy attacks have respectable ratios like Impact and Blade Chasm, and maybe Whirling Blades to an extent. The only problem with that is that Runebladers need to get within close range to their target to attack the mobs, right? And especially in boss fights where you don't just get to sit in front of them and hammer away. You want to get in there, quickly attack, and then drag your ass out. Fortunately, Storm Sigil abilities are more focused on burst damage instead of DPS. So that's your best bet, and you can use Whirling Blades from a distance to do some damage, but overall I think Echoing Blades is the best skill for long-term sustained DPS, though I might be misinformed. Other than that, the main elephant in the room is that Runebladers are squishy. Like, I don't even think they deserve to be a warrior. Well, technically they're not, they're a special class, quote unquote. But they equip warrior gear, so I'm gonna say that they are trying to be one. You can't rely on Runeblader as a suitable frontline. There's no chance in hell that they can match the same beefy tank instead of Knight or Berserk again, absolutely not. Runebladers also have very low base HP for their class, and they have no proper sustenance in their kit, so they have a mediocre grade in the durability department. Having somewhat low damage and a lack of defensiveness is a bad combination because it makes them a class that's not very well designed in parties, at least until you get better gear. This means if you're a person who enjoys the solo aspect of the game, this is a perfect class for you, but most parties will want to go for something more practical, like a priest or a wizard, maybe a bowman, or rather archer or a ranger, and or if they want to go for frontline, they might go for just a standard knight. But one last thing, Runebladers are aesthetically pleasing. It's so nice to see their skills, it's very fluid. I enjoy the visual changes, especially within the 3 elements. It's just super nice to see their abilities, and one of the better classes in terms of animations. All in all, Runebladers are a really fun melee class. They are super entertaining to play, and definitely serviceable all around, so their damage is not the highest and they're kind of tissue paper, but they are pretty future-proof. In regards to Runeblader's strength early, mid to late game, I would say they're a mid-tier class in all stages. The only thing Nexon could do, maybe make them a little bit more durable. I think there's nothing wrong with having like not the highest damage, but if you can just be a little bit tankier and maybe buff up their dash a tiny bit, that can definitely put them in top tier. That, or you can circumvent their weaknesses by playing them very well, but I think maybe a little bit more love in the numbers. In terms of overall rating, they get a solid 7 out of 10. Not the best class I've seen in my life, but certainly not the worst. And I can't wait to see how good they can get once you start racking up more points, get more gear score, and just overall get better at the class. Anyway, that should be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and once again, if you have any requests for classes, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make a review on the most upvoted comment. Also, make sure you answer the question of the video, because I do love asking you guys those, and if I missed anything important that you guys think might make Runebladers look a little bit better, let me know. Be sure to tell me in the comment section below, because I don't know everything about the class yet. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.